Welcome back to Thinkiverse Podcast, unlocking knowledge across the spectrum every day. I'm Ryan Lamas.
And I'm Rana Escloto.
And Rana, today we are diving into a story that has the whole sports world talking.
It really does.
Get ready for a blend of sports and health as we break down Taylor Hendricks' injury from Monday night's Jazz game.
Yeah, it's one of those moments that really makes you hold your breath,
Yeah.
Seeing a young player like Hendricks go down like that.
Absolutely. And for our listeners who might have missed it, we're talking about the Utah Jazz forward Taylor Hendricks. During their game against the Dallas Mavericks, it was the third quarter, things are heating up.
Oh, yeah.
And then, bam, Hendricks lands awkwardly near the baseline.
And this wasn't just a simple twist or sprain.
Oh, no.
We're talking a fractured right fibula and a dislocated ankle. That fibula, it's a key bone for ankle stability. So this kind of injury, especially with the dislocation on top of it, is incredibly complex.
It's a tough break,
Okay.
literally. And you could just see the concern on everyone's faces. His teammates, Lauri Markkanen especially, looked really shaken up. There's a sense of camaraderie in these teams.
For sure.
So seeing a teammate go down like that hits hard.
And rightfully so. Markkanen even mentioned how much work Hendricks put in over the summer getting ready for the season. To have that momentum stopped short by such a serious injury, it's a gut punch, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too.
And it's not just the players. Coach Will Hardy was clearly affected as well.
Oh, yeah.
He even said these are the moments in sports that just suck, which I think a lot of us can relate to.
Yeah, it's a stark reminder that even with all the training and preparation, these athletes are still human and their bodies are vulnerable. And at a young age, especially, an injury like this can be a real mental hurdle to overcome.
Because this isn't just about missing a few games, right?
Right.
We're talking about a long and potentially grueling rehabilitation process.
Exactly. Think
Yeah.
about it, regaining strength, mobility, and then the mental aspect, overcoming the fear of re-injury, getting back that same confidence on the court. It's a whole other battle.
Speaking of battles, before we go any deeper into the implications of this injury for Hendricks' future, let's take a quick moment to introduce our YouTube channel.
Okay.
We're Thinkiverse Podcast, unlocking knowledge across the spectrum every day. Hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into fascinating topics.
We'll be back in a flash with more on Taylor Hendricks and his road to recovery.
You know, it's interesting to think about the psychology of these injuries.
Yeah.
For a young player like Hendricks, who's just starting to find his footing in the league,
Right.
this setback could really impact his confidence.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen with other athletes. The fear of re-injury, the pressure to perform it, can be a lot to handle.
It's that what-if factor, right?
Yeah.
What if I'm not the same player? What if I can't get back to where I was? These doubts can creep in and really mess with an athlete's headspace. Absolutely. And that's where the mental game becomes just as important as the physical recovery. Hendricks is going to need a strong support system, his teammates, coaches, medical staff, even sports psychologists to help him navigate those challenges.
Well, it's been encouraging to see the outpouring of support from the Jazz organization. Markkanen's words were really touching, emphasizing the importance of teamwork and resilience. It shows they're not just treating like a player, but like a person going through something difficult.
Absolutely. It's that sense of unity that we're all in this together mentality that can make a huge difference in an athlete's recovery. And Coach Hardy's comments about prioritizing Hendricks' health and well-being were also really reassuring. They understand that rushing him back could do more harm than good.
This makes me think about Hendricks' career trajectory. Before the injury, he was really starting to show promise. He had earned a starting spot his third consecutive game as a starter, and he was building on his 23 starts from his rookie season.
Right. And while his stats from the Mavericks game, 2 points or 3 rebounds and 2 assists in 21 minutes, might seem modest, you have to remember he was finding his rhythm as a starter. This injury could potentially disrupt that development, especially in a league where competition for playing time is fierce.
It makes you wonder about the long-term impact, not just physically, but also on his contract negotiations, endorsements, and his overall standing in the league.
You're right. Teams often factor in injury history when making those decisions. But let's not forget, Hendricks is young, and he's shown resilience before. He made it to the NBA, which is no small feat. This is just another obstacle in his journey.
And it's those obstacles, those moments of adversity that really define an athlete's character.
Think about it. We've seen countless stories of athletes who've bounced back from devastating injuries and achieved even greater success. It's almost like the setback fuels their determination.
The human body is capable of incredible things, and the mental toughness these athletes display is truly inspiring. But let's not sugarcoat it. The road ahead for Hendricks won't be easy.
Not at all. This type of injury, a fractured fibula combined with a dislocated ankle, requires intensive rehabilitation. It's not just about regaining strength and mobility, but also rebuilding trust in that ankle, getting back that explosiveness and agility that's so crucial in basketball.
And you can't underestimate the psychological impact. Overcoming the fear of re-injury, pushing yourself to the limit again, it takes immense mental fortitude.
Exactly. But I think what's fascinating is how these athletes reframe these challenges. They don't see it as the end, but as an opportunity for growth, a chance to come back even stronger.
It's a testament to their dedication, their unwavering belief in themselves, and their ability to overcome adversity.
And that's something we can all learn from, whether we're athletes or not. Life throws curveballs at all of us, and it's how we respond to those challenges that really matters.
And before we wrap up, let me just remind everyone to check out our YouTube channel, Thinkiverse Podcast. We're unlocking knowledge across the spectrum every day. Hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives like this one.
We'll be back in a moment with some final thoughts on Taylor Hendricks' injury and what it means for his future in the NBA.
It really is amazing to think about, the dedication and resilience these athletes have.
It is.
They face immense pressure and physical demands, and yet they keep coming back stronger.
Right.
It's a real testament to the human spirit.
It is. And let's not forget the support systems surrounding these players, their families, teammates, coaches, medical staff, even the fans.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They play a crucial role in their recovery, both physically and mentally. It's a collective effort, a community rallying around one of their own.
This whole situation with Taylor Hendricks, it really makes you think about the long-term implications of these types of injuries, especially for young players.
Yeah.
In such a demanding sport like basketball.
Yeah, it does raise some important questions. How will this impact his development? Will he be able to fully regain his previous form? Will teams be hesitant to invest in him because of this injury? These are all valid concerns that Hendricks and his team will need to address as he progresses through his recovery.
And while it's impossible to predict the future, I think it's safe to say that Taylor Hendricks has the determination and the support system to overcome this challenge.
I think so, too.
He's shown resilience before, and I have no doubt he'll channel that same grit and perseverance as he works his way back to the court.
And that's what makes these stories so compelling. It's not just about the physical comeback. It's about the mental and emotional journey, the triumph of the human spirit over adversity. And that's something we can all find inspiration in, whether we're athletes or not.
We'll certainly be following Taylor Hendricks' recovery closely and wishing him all the best in his journey back to the NBA. And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has given you a greater understanding of the challenges and triumphs these athletes face.
And if you're as fascinated by these stories as we are, be sure to like and subscribe to the Thinkiverse Podcast YouTube channel.
Yes.
We're unlocking knowledge across the spectrum every day.
Every day.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.